Welcome to Basics. Welcome to Floorball Basics. It's NSG time. Stories that I will tell out, based on my own personal experience or based on what I've heard of others. NSG stories. If you're in for NSG story, this is story number 1. So many NSG stories that I can tell of, but each video clip I'll just tell on one. If you like this story that I've spoken about, do like, share, and subscribe, and share it to others so that there'll be some learning lessons that can be derived out of it, or if it's just purely entertainment purposes for you, just hear on all the way to the end. Now, I've taken so many games, different teams, different age groups across the years I've taken. One of the most memorable story that I can tell us happened about years ago. What happened is this team of mine, okay, we were actually approaching the game and we actually started the game well. Now imagine this, when you start the game well, and it's so well because we actually led the game 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, all the way to 5-0. Now 5-0 halfway through the game, and if you ask any normal person out there, if you are leading 5-0 and approaching halfway through the game, most likelihood, what will be the outcome? The outcome would most probably be a win, right? Because you are just leading a very nice, comfortable margin. And so that was what I thought. So what happens is, after we led 5-0, that's part of the game. Opposition actually scored 1 goal against us. And so therefore the score is 5-1. Now with 5-1, 4-goal margin, again, the margin is still relatively countable. All you need to do is just see through the game, being sensible on ball possession, being nice in defense, no silly mistakes. That should do. But what happened was something that I did not notice in the game, because back then when I was still young, I tend to always focus on the court or the field of play by itself. And I kind of probably at times ignored whatever that was happening at the bench. So at 5-1, I just continue to look at the gameplay. I give some instructions, blah, 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 blah. But what happens is, after a while, I kind of sensed something was wrong at the bench. When I turned and looked, I actually saw 1 or 2 girls, sort of like tearing and crying at the bench already. And then it gave me a shock, because what actually happened, because everything was going pretty much, like I said, smoothly, except for that 1 goal that was conceded. So I realized the girl that was crying and her partner, they actually blamed themselves for conceding the goal. So okay, fine, you kind of blame yourself, you're upset about it, cry it, done, settle, just move on. But what happens is, that crying incident, what happens is it actually spread from 1 girl to another girl, to another girl, and so on and so forth. And by the time within a couple of minutes, the literally all my bench were literally tearing up and crying while the game is ongoing at the same time. So as a coach back then, it was a very much a surprise, a shock, because what is happening? We still need to play to the end of the game, right? So nonetheless, the opposition managed to come back, second goal, third goal, but we actually managed to score another goal. So we actually managed to get a 6th goal. So it's about like 6-3, 6-4, thereabouts. You will still think that, okay, maybe we can still hold on to the lead and see it through the game. But however, unfortunately, the nerves were just totally broken, because the opposition kept going, we kept breaking down, and they were on the rise, we were on the down, and at the end of the game, we actually lost a near margin of 7-6. Now, losing 7-6 is not the issue right here. The issue right here that I felt back then as a coach was, why at 5-0 and even at 5-1, we could not actually hold our nerves together. That was a lesson that I learned as a coach, in terms of how then can I, moving forward, prepare my teams, my players, mentally more stronger, mentally more ready, more resilient, in terms of facing setbacks that will happen during the game. Now, during the game, you will face setbacks like conceding a goal, free hits, penalties, bench penalties, 10-minute penalties. All this, I've seen it throughout my career. The only issue is the players are playing for me and it's not me. So for players, you out there, if you are one of them at the bench, the ups and downs in the game, you must be able to handle the emotions high and emotions low. If you're on a high when the game is going well for you, good. But when the game is full of obstacles or some obstacles are coming, you must be able to control your low so that you can push back up and go back on the high again. But nonetheless, this is a story, my first ever story that I'm going to share it out over here in my channel. If you do like it, please hold on and check out for story number 2. For story number 2, based on what I'm thinking right now, it's something that's just happened recently and it's on my team. And that will be a story that I'll be very interested to share with you, because that is also another crucial lesson to learn from. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.